Have you ever shared a secret with someone you trusted, and later wished you had stayed silent? One sentence. One moment of honesty. And suddenly, your whole life changes, asterisk asterisk. We believe smiles mean safety. We believe kind words mean care. We believe the people beside us will protect our truth. But sometimes, the closest ears are the most dangerous. And the softest smiles hide careless hearts. This is the story of a man who learned that lesson too late. John was a simple factory worker. For 8 years, he lived inside a cement factory at the edge of a noisy city. Every morning before sunrise, he washed his face with cold water, ate the same quiet breakfast, and pulled on his faded blue uniform, always smelling of dust and sweat. He walked the same road. Passed the same tea stall. Nodded to the same guard. And joined the long line of workers lifting heavy cement bags, again and again. Machines screamed without rest. His hands grew rough. His shoulders stiff. His back burned every night. But John never complained. He believed hard work was a blessing. And silence was strength. At home, a small family waited for him. A careful wife. A young daughter who ran to him every evening, hugging his dusty legs without caring about the gray powder on his clothes. Those hugs were his strength. The reason he stayed quiet. The reason he endured. At work, John was known as loyal and calm. Never late. Never angry. Never troublesome. And because of that, he trusted his co-workers. Especially one man. Mike. Mike laughed loudly. Asked about John's family. Spoke like a friend who cared. And slowly, John believed him. But inside John's body, something was breaking. The work felt heavier. His legs weakened by afternoon. His mind grew tired of the endless noise. He didn't hate the factory. He didn't blame his boss. He only wished for one thing. One lighter day. One small break. One evening, after a brutal shift, John walked home with Mike. The sun was low. His back burned with pain. At the factory gate, John stopped. And for the first time, he spoke. He said his bones ached. That the work was becoming too heavy. That maybe, just maybe, he would ask for lighter work for one day. That was all. No anger. No rebellion. Just honesty. Mike nodded. Placed a hand on his shoulder. Said he understood. John felt lighter. Being heard felt like relief. But what John didn't know was this. Mike loved attention. Loved being important. Loved being the man with news. The next morning, during break, Mike leaned toward another worker. He whispered that John was unhappy. That he couldn't handle the work anymore. The truth bent. Tiredness became complaint. A request for rest became a desire to quit. And the story kept growing. By afternoon, people said John wanted to leave. By evening, they said he was spreading negativity. By the next morning, managers heard he was a problem. No one asked John. Rumors are easier than truth. The story climbed higher. From floor manager to supervisor. From supervisor to senior manager. Each time, the words changed. Until it reached the factory owner, Mr. Henderson. He valued loyalty above all. And what he heard sounded like betrayal. He didn't see a tired man. He imagined rebellion. So he decided to make an example. The next morning, John arrived as usual. Greeted the guard. Punched his time card. Picked up his gloves. Then security stopped him. Inside the office, he wasn't allowed to explain. He was accused of betrayal. Of spreading negativity. Of planning to harm the factory. His words didn't matter. The decision was already made. John was fired on the spot. His final pay placed on the table. His name quietly marked as unwanted. When he walked out of the gate he had passed for years, whispers followed him like shadows. After that, life became cruel. People said he was dangerous, that he couldn't be trusted. Every door closed before he could explain. At home, his wife watched him grow quieter. His daughter stopped asking when he would go to work. Bills piled up. Savings disappeared. And the man who once believed the world was good learned how fast trust can be destroyed. One early morning, before the city woke, John packed a small bag, kissed his sleeping daughter's forehead, and left. He went to find work where his name was still clean. Weeks later, a manager reviewed old security footage. He saw John in his final days. Working alone. Silent. Faithful. No anger. No meetings. No betrayal. Just work. When the truth finally came out, regret followed. But it was too late. John was already gone. And that is the lesson. Not everyone who listens cares. Not every smile is safe. And words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Sometimes, silence is protection. Because sharing your pain with the wrong person can turn honesty into disaster. Wisdom isn't just knowing what to say. It's knowing when to stay silent.